See you back again at Sudha Live, our weekly live stream. This is episode 11, Friday, 6 p.m. here, end of another beautiful week. I'm Sudha Jamthe. I'm here to tell you about opportunities in the AI world and amazing stuff my students are doing and amazing opportunities from around the world for you. So this week, we had at Weekly Wednesday at Business School of AI, we had a no code AI webinar. I've been talking about no code AI. I teach AI at Stanford Continuing Studies and online at Business School of AI. I teach AIX and AI ethics courses at Barcelona Technology School. And I'm focused on helping you connect the dots between the high level business considerations and the depths of technology. So, no code AI is not just about a tool, it's about how you actually go through a data science sprint as a team with your role on what you contribute to solve a business problem with what you want AI to do for you. So what we ended up doing is in this it's weekly Wednesdays are free alumni gathering for my student community, and we had invited a special guest who actually did not allow us to do the recording. So unfortunately, I can give you that part of the recording. But we learned and saw a demo about a no-code AI platform called C3X Machina, and and we used a public data set which was about customer data churn. So it's called telco customer churn data. So this is a public one, is available in Kaggle, and we saw that using Ex Machina. And then I ended up having a discussion about what is your role with this global group under Weekly Wednesday, talking about how do you set goals, how do you decide when the AI no code AI platform gives you multiple options and say we use this algorithm and this is what we are giving as an option, or we are using this other algorithm and we're giving you an option, and how do you decide? We've spoken about AI confusion matrix to decide, look at the performance and ethics and all that out of AI by looking at the accuracy and recall. But how do you do that when it is done in a no-code AI, when it is a bigger black box than the typical AI, which is not explainable? So we had fun discussion on that, and then I showed a no-code AI platform called Akio, and then I showed another one with IBM AutoML of using the same data sets to solve for the same problem of customer churn. And we went through this as our weekly Wednesday. So I have that ready. Thanks to Ananya Sen, my student alum and host of Weekly Wednesday, we have those recording ready. So that's the first one I have as an offering for you on Business School of AI. We put this together as a free course. So you don't need to sign up. If you want to sign up and have access and keep coming back, you can sign up. If you don't want, you don't need to sign up. You should be able to just go through lesson by lesson and watch it. We made it into 5 to 10 minutes video chunks instead of this 1 hour recording. So you learn what is no code AI and look at these 3 different no code AI platform. But the most important thing is you will get to look at the discussion of my students on what is involved in a data science AI sprint and what is your role as a product manager, as a business manager, as a data engineer, as a data scientist, how it comes together and how to actually build AI to successfully solve a business problem. So go to businessschoolofai.com, and in there you will find this course. If you're already signed up for Weekly Wednesday, you click on all courses and you should be able to find it. So you will find this course. We are calling it AI No Code AI webinar, because this was about a no code AI webinar. So it's called No Code AI webinar, and you should be able to find the webinar. And I will also share as you're asking questions when you chat, either this is streaming on YouTube and LinkedIn. So wherever you're asking me questions or comments, I will come and add the links for that too. So that's one. The other thing is I want to show you 2 other opportunities that I found out this week. This is not related to me, but I tend to share opportunities. That's my promise to you here. There is an event coming up on August 23rd from HAI Stanford, which is a Stanford Institute which focuses on human-centered AI, and they have a event called Foundation Models. So this is about AI models, about algorithms, but what are these foundation models which are helping create, like GPT-3, like BERT? How is that actually helping create a generalized AI? We are all creating narrow AI, and we're going towards a generalized AI. What are these foundation models that is taking us towards that? So that's this topic. It's August 23rd at HAI Stanford. I found another interesting one: Women in Cybersecurity, Central Alabama affiliate. So it's Women in Cybersecurity, WICYS. That's what their acronym is, on August 25th. And these are all online because we are all in the pandemic and still trying to kind of keep your social distance, wear our mask, and, limit our outside activities. So this is another online activity on August 25th. So that's the third piece. So there's a no code AI webinar. There is the foundation model from HI Stanford. There's Women in Cybersecurity, Central Alabama affiliate of Women in Cybersecurity, WICYS. So those are three opportunities for you. Then from my world, one of the interesting things we are doing is I'm teaching this artificial intelligence boot camp for product and business managers at Stanford. And so I've got some amazing speakers. David Kerrigan comes back to speak to my class every time, and he was back and he talked about applied AI, and especially with this McDonald's case of how AI is built, AI models are built, and what does it look like. He had contributed a case study to the AIX book, which serves as the textbook for my class, and he came to talk more about it. And the interesting thing that happened with McDonald's is when he wrote the case study, it was about how McDonald's uses personalization on their drive-through window. So when you go through the drive-through, there is a screen where you see the food that you can order. I don't go to a McDonald's, so I don't know. But the menu that you see gets personalized based on who you are. So when you say something is personalized, it means it's personal to an individual user. So how do I know that I am driving through McDonald's and now it is David who's driving through McDonald's? And so the way they went through the exercise and say, okay, we are going to give a generic personal option, but we are going to personalize that based on weather and all that stuff to kind of customize the option. It was not true personalization. But then for the users who are doing a drive through, where they can read the number plate and do some natural language processing and identify the numbers. So it's an image, they'll read the image and then they will do some kind of OCR or NLP and fetch the number plates. And they would say, this user of this number plate actually bought this the last time. And so it's like, when you go to a website, they don't know you because you've not logged in, but they put a cookie on your computer and then they identify you the next time they come back. So McDonald's attempted to do that. Wherever it is allowed in the US states, they did that for using number plate, but that doesn't cover everybody. So what they ended up doing recently is when somebody is talking and asking for this drive-through order, we do that by voice. So they started saving those voice. And then they started using that to build AI and identify the voice of the user and say, this same user came back last time, and this user, we don't know who they are. This is the thing about AI, guys, that you think you're not giving information, you think you're not giving data, but you are training data. I'm training data. I say that jokingly about chasing self-driving cars, but every time when we are interacting with AI, everywhere, it is everywhere. So it might not have our permission, it might not know me as Sudha Jamthe, but if it sees me enough number of times and puts the metadata about me together, it could call me, customer number 752X for all you know. It doesn't matter, but it knows my preference. It starts tracking me. That's what they did. McDonald's tracked the user by their voice and as an identity. And then they ended up tracking the user and giving them, they thought they were helping them and they were giving them a personalized menu. And one user caught that and they ended up suing McDonald's. So we'll see how that case plays out, because this is a privacy violation, obviously. And even when you use your voice assistant with Alexa or Google Home, they could do that, but they ask for your permission. And so with Alexa, I have not seen it ask for permission, but you're logged into your Amazon account, so they know who you are. With Google, it actually asks you and it says, do you want to personalize your voice? So when I hear your voice compared to somebody else's voice in the family, I would actually give you a personal experience. And it tries to tempt you. So there's a UX team who's doing AIX design and is saying, hey, do you want to use us to use your voice and give you the personal experience? That way we can identify when we're telling you about a specific picture or certain features. It tries to limit if it's not a person that they know. So there is a opportunity for you as a product manager or anybody who's involved in building AI, that think about the privacy violation, think about GDPR compliance or getting permission of the user. How do you create that experience if you're in the product development cycle, or if you're thinking about ethics and compliance? Are you creating business risk by doing that? Or if you're a consumer and you say, okay, I'm driving through McDonald's and here is an AI that is seem to be changing the screen and interacting with me. So there's AI all around us. So that's one exercise I would say. We are training data that gives us an opportunity to engage, to learn, to dissect it and see how is it done. So that is my biggest advice anywhere we're interacting with AI that we should be doing. So David Kerrigan did come and speak to my class a couple of weeks back. And this last Monday, we had an amazing speaker, Mashika Allgood, and she used to be doing AI ethics at NVIDIA. Now she has this company called Allgood, and so she's doing good with bringing AI ethics to technology industry. And so the amazing thing with Mashika was she actually articulated how many number of engineers are out there in the world, how many know AI, how many are trained specially for AI, and what is the spread across multiple industries. So we can have technologies, but they are not equally available in every industry. So even if you're looking to go build AI and you want help and you want to talk to your colleagues, if you don't have enough data scientists or engineers in your firm or in your company, in your government, in your city, where do you get the resources? You can't just learn an online course which expects you to learn Python to go do that. So she was talking about how we all need to learn AI, find our roles, and it is always a team exercise. So the message was going back, it resonated very well with me that it was about a team exercise. She gave amazing examples. So if you're interested in any of them, happy to follow up. So that was one. But I'm happy to share the data, especially what we gave about the number of engineers and number of data scientists, how it is spread out in the world. So I'm actually going to go to LinkedIn because that is where this is streaming to LinkedIn and to YouTube. I'm not seeing the chats right here, so I want to make sure that if you're chatting, I don't want to miss out your comments or questions. So I appreciate you tuning in and asking me any questions or comments. But I want to see if you have any questions or comments for me. Okay, so coming back, so I've given you a couple event opportunities. I've told you about the no code AI. So this whole concept of AI ethics from Meshika also goes back to the same thing, that we need all of us to bring in diversity of perspective of what we contribute to. And you don't need to go pick up a fight. You don't need to go, become the AI ethicist. You could do that as part of your job in the companies. It's part of it. Right now, I'm just doing my Stanford class. In fall, I'm going to be offering the next catalog of courses, specifically focusing on no-code AI. So there's going to be this no-code AI data science for business users. When I say data science, you're going to learn real data science. So it's not some high-level stuff. It's not learning a no-code AI tool. You learn what is an AI lifecycle, the data science sprint look like, and then machine learning, deep learning, and different aspects of how to do that. What are the different models? So it will demystify that with simple English, no Python. And I like to make it more hands-on, so I would have like mini labs as part of the course. So all our courses are 6 weeks, 1 hour weekly live. So that's the 6-hour total commitment. And then I would expect you to spend at least 4 hours offline to just synthesize the content or connect with your fellow classmates or do a project or however you did. So think of setting aside at least 10 hours within the 2 months time, but be present live for 6 weeks. This time, I'm not just going to open a registration and say anybody sign up. The way I'm doing that is I have the no code AI data science for business users, and then I have 3 live labs, again 6 weeks each. And each of these live labs are going to be done using no code AI, but you're going to learn the actual data science sprint using real data, real business problem in a multidisciplinary team, working with people, and you'll have a master class from somebody from industry that I'll be giving you for each of those. So there'll be a live lab for machine learning, live lab for computer vision, live lab for NLP. In fact, for I can tell you, live lab for NLP is going to be done by Sam Wigglesworth from Oxford. She's fantastic expert in the NLP space. So I'm very happy that she's agreed to join us. Then we have a responsible AI ethics course that I thought with along with Susanna Raj, and Susanna will be joining us to teach us again that this time too. So it's not a huge catalog, but I have a lot of details about what is this no code AI course, what are the 3 different labs, what does each module look like, what are the details, and all that stuff in the catalog. Nyan, our intern, is actually putting this together. So if you go to businessschoolofai.com/weeklywed, which is where you sign up for Weekly Wednesday, usually you don't go back because we send you an email about upcoming Weekly Wednesdays. But if you go there, somewhere at the bottom, you have a form you can fill to give your name and email to request the catalog. I'm planning to send the catalogs out by Sunday. So you should get all these details. And if you want to follow up, you can find me, and I'm happy to talk to you to see if this is right for you, because I'm not opening registration yet. I'm just going to give you the catalog. This time, what we're going to do is I'm going to see who is interested. I want to create a multidisciplinary team of people of at least 6 per team, and we won't take more than 20 students in the class per class, right? So we want to have an application process, and then we would vet it and sign you up if that's the right thing. If it's not the right thing, I'll tell you. That I've been through that with you, and I'll tell you this is not the right one. I'll give you recommendations of other courses or anything else that you need that will serve your need. And with AI ethics, let me tell you this: there are amazing people doing AI ethics work, and I'm very inspired by many AI ethicists out there. So there are many courses that you could go for. It doesn't have to come from me, but my focus is to work in technology, either in technology industry or bringing technology as applied AI in your industry, working in technology industry, or bringing technology, right? So it's still technology, but there is a difference. It's more like a digital transformation exercise versus building product. And in that, what is your role? Are you going to be a data owner and you're going to actually bring that, and you're going to build AI, or you're going to do AI ethics at a global level, or you're just thinking of AI ethics as one component of inclusive AI, making whatever AI you're building to be explainable AI, to be fair and trustworthy. That could be what you're looking for, because nowadays engineering teams all have inclusive AI as a requirement that they and a framework that they're going for. So we're going to go deeper into that, on finding a role for you with whatever you're doing, to move out into the role as a career pivot, or if you want to move into a new industry, or based on your past experience you want to move into a role. So that's kind of my specialty, career pivot and going between the gap in business and tech to understand. But I focus a lot on building AI, deploying AI, making it happen in tech industry, or bringing tech into any other industry, where you're solving business problems, not building for the sake of building. So I will be sharing more details of that. If you're interested, go to businessschoolofai.com/weeklywed and sign up, and it's free. Just register to get the catalog, and I'll email you the catalog. And our weekly Wednesdays are free. I don't have any intention of charging. I apologize. There was a link to sign up to Weekly Wednesday, which pointed to an AI ethics class. So if you signed up, I want to refund you, because I want to sign up for a class only for if you want it. So our Weekly Wednesdays are free. It's our happy gathering of my student alums and speakers. Please join us. And we've had Patrick Lynn come and talk to us about AI and criminal justice system. We've had, we have an exciting speaker coming up. So we had the No Code AI webinar I already told you about. So this is my notes. That's what I'm looking at. August 11th, which is our next Weekly Wednesday, we have David Rodriguez from KiwiBot come and talk to us about AI. KiwiBot is an AV, autonomous vehicle delivery bot that does food delivery. They were very university focused. They still have them in many universities where they deliver food. But now what they've done is they've come to San Jose, and they have a partnership with Knight Foundation, where they are collecting food from various people, food packaged food items from various people, and the KiwiBot is actually delivering in downtown San Jose. It is delivering to various shelters. So they call the shelters, say what they ask, what they want, and then those things are delivered by KiwiBot to the different shelters. So they're doing that. It's a Knight Foundation project happening in downtown San Jose. Other than that, obviously, you can download an app and say, KiwiBot, get me a coffee, or get me a boba, and that's literally possible, and it's something that they are doing. So August 4th, August 11th, next Wednesday, David Rodriguez, who's head of business for KiwiBot, is going to come talk to us about AI business model, evolution, their strategy, what they've been through, as any other speaker in our weekly Wednesday. But the exciting thing that I've never told you before is August 12th, on Thursday, we have a special event. And what we are going to do is I'm inviting 10 of my students, past students. You could have taken my IoT class, AV class, business of self-driving class, anything on and any of these at Stanford, or you could have taken any of my online classes from Business School of AI. But this is going to be local, so I'm calling Bay Area students, alums from the past. 10, or I can take 10 students with me. We're going to go to a tour on KiwiBot. It's called KiwiBot Tour. And if there's somebody out there who says, hey, that's not fair, we are not there in Bay Area, I'm happy to do a live stream, or I'm happy to do a recording and bring it to you. But you'll have to tell me if it's useful, because I'm going to be chasing this robot, and I'm going to be busy, but I will still do the recording if you want it. So the idea is we're going to go to KiwiBot, to San Jose downtown. We're going to see, we're going to meet with the team and hear from them about their evolution strategy, because in any startup, it's about market and product fit and how the business model evolves. So we're going to find that information, and then we are going to experience ordering a boba. That's what I'm going for, and make the KiwiBot come and deliver it to me. So if you're one of my students, I'm happy to take you along, and mask up. Hopefully you're vaccinated and you're comfortable to keep social distance. That's why we are limiting to 10 people, and we can do this. Is a sidewalk robot sharing the road, sharing the sidewalk. So it's a different experience, but it's fully autonomous. It doesn't have a person babysitting it, and because it's not a self-driving car, but you have to have a person in there. And so it's doing its thing, and it's awesome stuff. And you can find out about the tech, about the business model, about their strategy, how they operationally do this, and get your boba delivered by a KiwiBot. So tell me if that's something you want to do, and if you're one of my students, I'm happy to take you. So that's the KiwiBot piece. I think I've covered everything else I planned for. I have a question for you. If you're interested in the live lab, one of my student, like 4 of my weekly Wednesday group, this is the free weekly Wednesday team, 4 of them are working on this mini live lab, which is just for 4 weeks. And they are taking images from food delivery from DoorDash, which is the food delivery company which brings food from restaurants for us. During the pandemic, I shared that images, and they've taken that and they are going to do some object recognition. And the idea is to do this labeling as a labeling exercise, do this labeling right, so that you can actually build the object model. So as part of the team, we will have, we already have 2 data scientists. One person represents the local data scientist in your team, one represents from corporate, from the COE. We have 2 business users from different backgrounds, and one person is very data heavy person, and then we have a product manager, all coming together, and they're going there doing their thing, using my framework, what we apply for the live lab, and to do the CV pipeline. They'll be coming back. I'm hoping by end of August they'll have something to show. That's a mini lab exercise that's going on. So last weekly Wednesday, I called for people, and if you're going to be one of those people who is going to get the no code AI webinar from Business School of AI, I would like to invite you to see whether you want to work on a project on using one of the no-code AI platforms that you're seeing out there. And C3 Ex Machina was very kind to give us a option to get a free trial. And it's a very, very powerful tool. It's a very strong enterprise tool. They already have tons of enterprise customers, and as part of it, they've created a no-code AI module. So it does a lot more than just it's not like you give data and it spits out a model. You can do data visualization, you can do data analysis, and then you can go build the model, and it walks you through the pipeline, and then you pick what you're picking, which model you're going for, and it's all done with no code. And it's a very robust platform. So I'm planning to do a project. I will likely use that as one of my platforms for one of my live labs. But if this is interesting for you, if you're part of Weekly Wednesday, ping us there. I'm happy to find other people for you to collaborate. So we're trying to, not just come together and talk with each other and listen to speakers and go away. I want you to go get hands-on and go build something, get the experience and get the confidence, and then go do a career pivot and go change the world. So that's what I'm going for. So that's it. I think I have told you about the opportunities that I'm aware of. My live catalog, the fall catalog, you can request from Weekly Wednesday site, which is businessschoolofai.com Weekly Wednesday. In fact, you can go to sudhajamthe.com and /weeklywed, and it points to the same landing page too. So I have one last question for you. Maybe you can chat the answer when you see this. So this live lab I was telling you about, how people are going to do labeling of images, right, for object detection. So question is, from a labeling perspective, what is the difference between an image that is labeled for image classification and an image that is labeled for object detection? So have an image and I'm going to label it, outsourcing it to a label company, or I'm using a platform like Playment and I'm going to do labeling. Now, my goal is I'm going to use that for classification, or I'm just going to use that for object detection. What is the difference in terms of labeling? I want to know what is the technical difference of labeling and how would I do it different? So that's a question for you. If you have it, you can type away in the chat, or you can come talk to us at Weekly Wednesday and I'll get you the answer then. Okay, so with that, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you for hanging around with me. This is week 11 and we are going strong. So I appreciate that. And as you see, I'm not just giving you my content from my Weekly Wednesday and my students' activity. If you're my student and you're doing something amazing, come tell us. But even if you're not my student, if you have an opportunity, if you're doing something out there, I would like to share, because this is about sharing AI opportunities out there. And Rebecca Tweed does this AI ethics responsible tech job board. So definitely follow her. And she'll give you the latest in the AI ethics world global jobs. So she's one that I always follow and find inspiring. And thank you, Rebecca. She's joined full time, I believe, in All Tech is responsible tech in the job board in a larger community, and I appreciate that. I find that I'm just going to find Rebecca for you so you can actually follow her. Rebecca Tweed. It's KH Rebecca Tweed, and she is amazing. So she's joining All Tech is Human as the nonprofits program manager. All Tech is Human. So that's her new job, and she's doing a lot of amazing things. So I would definitely recommend following her. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. If you want the fall catalog, you know where to find it. Go to Weekly Wednesday on Business School of AI and type, and I'll email you by Sunday. Or if you want the No Code AI webinar, get it and follow one of the events. Come back and talk to us. If you're listening to this and you're attending any of these events, I want to see whether, what is the feedback on these events? What does that look like? And then before I wrap up, we also, in my upcoming class at Stanford, we have Dr. Erwin John, who is a radiologist who got excited about machine learning with Google has this teachable with google.com as a no code image classification platform. So he used that for radiology images, and then he got very hooked to machine learning. So he's created something called RAD-ML, and he's a radiologist. He's not a coder, but he's got excited enough to learn machine learning to go build this, and he uses it in his job, and he brings and he's based out of Philippines, and he's doing amazing stuff. So he's going to be talking to my class on next Monday. So I'm learning from there. I'll come and share here. I can invite you into my Stanford class that's already happening. But with that, I want to wrap up. So I'm kind of looking, dipping my toe a lot more into computer vision and image recognition, though I've been talking about self-driving cars for a long time. I'm coming to the nitty-gritties of, what does it look like in labeling. So remember my question about image classification and object recognition. What's the difference in how you would label that? So let me know. And with that, I'm going to wrap up, and stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you next week on Friday here, or maybe I'll see you at Weekly Wednesday, or I'll see you at one of the events that I'm recommending that I'm going to be there too. So with that, I'll wrap up, guys. Thank you, everybody. Bye.